Summer, beaches, volleyball, mangoes, and of course, the beautiful sunsets you see as you contemplate life. That's right, everyone. Another season means more media to consume that will inevitably be added to the backlog begrudgingly as it grows as I procrastinate on my hobbies. That's life. For no reason at all, I'm going to ramble about the anime that I'm watching so far in this season. As of recording this, there should be at most 4 episodes for each show, but I may not have watched every single one of them. Obviously, there's like 20 plus per season. So it's a bit hard to do that. I'm not trying to get this video out by the time the season's over, since that just seems a little too late. So this video is more of like a general thoughts on the season so far. Anyways, for the first what I will be watching ever on this channel, we got some season 2s, some rom-coms, some potential garbage, and some unexpected gems. So let's splash on in. Okay, wait. All right, let me see if I can pronounce this. I'm gonna butcher this pronunciation, but in an effort to learn more Japanese, I'm gonna try. Mizuzokuse no Maho Sky. I think I got that right. Anyways, water magician. So get this, right? It's an isekai. It has genre referential humor like skipping truck-kun. Now get this, the MC is secretly overpowered. Okay. But now there are angels, like Christian angels. Okay. Are you still with me? Okay, but this time he's a waterbender. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say that could possibly convince someone to watch this if they don't like isekais already. Luckily, I'm a degen that likes pretty run-of-the-mill stuff like this, so here I am. The world itself and the intelligence of the MC Ryota. Is it Ryota? Ryo. Oh, he's voiced by Murase Ayumu. Shoutouts Haikyuu. Anyways, where was I? Oh yeah. The intelligence, the MC, Ryo, and understanding how to use magic is interesting enough for me to keep watching it. You get to see him sort of extrapolate on the science behind the magic, and I think that's just a more interesting way of doing it, because fantasy shows and I guess isekais like this in general, they tend to just show the magic happening, and then the viewers are supposed to just be like, oh yeah, this is just normal. But I guess, yeah, if you have the knowledge, if you were transported into the world, you would try to apply that knowledge in the world, right? Maybe that's just how he's overpowered. I don't know. We'll see. I thought it was really cool. Get it? Because he makes eyes. No? Okay. The animation in the opening is pretty darn good. And sometimes in the show there clearly are some sequences where you can tell it would turn out great, but only if the team had more time to polish it. And then sometimes you just have sequences where it's like, okay, what are we doing here? Maybe I'm just a junkie for escapism, but I've been enjoying it as of the 3 episodes that were released. The potential is there, the monsters and social hierarchy are being fleshed out, and there's a cute elf girl that will probably get with the protagonist. So what's there not to like? At least for me. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. Hopefully the quality at least stays consistent, but in every season there's a couple of anime that just slowly show their weaknesses due to production scheduling and whatnot. We'll see. Okay, so I watched episode 4 and it actually boosted my interest a lot more. There's an eclipse. You don't really see that as a way to like introduce the demons, and the demon's hot. Okay. Now I'm very interested. Anyways, whatever. You know how I mentioned Haikyuu earlier? Yeah, we're gonna put a really bad segue into another sports anime based on soccer. And the match is like a fight where it seems so intense you can feel the power behind every kick. That's right. I'm talking about DanDaDan. Zany hijinks continue as our cast continues to solve the issue regarding the village that was introduced at the end of season 1. Every episode seems to step on the accelerator even harder than the last one, as it seems to flesh out the world even more so through the introduction of the Kito family. But you know what? Having a singular family sacrifice people for so many years truly showcases the depravity that these yokai would go through to settle their own agenda. Yeah, by the time episode 4 comes out, you can see that the volcano was going to erupt anyways, but we know that. We know that apparently it's just a coincidence due to the hot spring itself. So that didn't solve anything. How many people died just for the tale to just be completely false? Oh, finally a cop. Hey, there's a bunch of weirdos out there assaulting young teenagers at onsen. Go and stop them, won't you? Oh. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Evil Eye is a pretty compelling demon so far, but it's not along the same lines as Silky. But he is very cool. Maybe it's because him possessing Gigi to play as the next coming Ronaldo got me out of my chair a couple of times due to impact frames, but I'm not sure how this will end. My early predictions, at least as of the 3 episodes that did come out, was that I thought Gigi would fight back and seize control by appealing to the child version, but that's how he got there in the first place. Yeah, it turns out episode 4, he just got captured by the grandma. Now that he got captured, I wonder what the rest of the season is going to be about. It seems like there's going to be a lot more of the supporting cast that should be introduced, at least based off of the opening and ending. And maybe the point of this show is to have like a bond, at least between the yokai and the humans, because a lot of our characters seem to just have a connection. So maybe some of the supporting cast will have their own form and there will be like a support system there, like a devil trigger from Devil May Cry. I guess we'll see as the rest of the season unfolds. The opening is tight, the ending is pretty fluid, and whoa, who's this handsome fella? He's schmoovin'. Anyway, season 2 is off with a bang as expected. Shoutouts to the studio. Shoutouts to Science Saru, the studio behind the anime. Pretty good so far. Real quick, while I have your attention, please like and subscribe if you want to. No pressure, of course, but just giving a reminder. If you want to watch me play games for whatever reason, you can follow my Twitch channel as well. Okay, leave a comment. Yeah? Okay, bye. Okay, Gachia. You ever want to see giant garbage monsters get destroyed by people that have sentimental attachments to the objects that they have? Because that's what this show is, apparently. Gachiakuta, finally, has been a series I've heard across social media because before the anime started, and I've always been meaning to read it due to its potential, but I'm kind of glad I waited, to be honest. With the way that the show looks right now, due to the animation by Studio Bones, seems like it's going to be consistent throughout the rest of the season, so I'll just stick with the anime for now. Set in a seemingly post-apocalyptic world where garbage overfills the environment to the point of humanity moving further up to create a clean society, Gachiakuta presents a possibility that could lead to positive messaging. There's already themes of keeping our environment clean, social class division, and remembering what's important to us through our closest possessions. But who cares about that? I want to see giant trash piece get destroyed. Powers, revenge, anger. Man, screw those high and noble types. And yeah, I'm glad that girl turned out to be a hater. It just makes the revenge all the more worth it. There's like a perfect potential smoothie here. And I have a couple of questions. How do the garbage monsters live? Is it possible to get rid of the garbage? Why is there a cleaner upper class to begin with if humanity moved to escape anyways? Isn't it going to eventually repeat the cycle due to division and environmental negligence? Just some questions that I don't expect to get answered immediately in the anime. So I'm just gonna enjoy the pretty colors and destruction of garbage and violence. I'm probably going to read the manga eventually, but I'm so happy that I can still get so joyous over shonen battle-crazed anime. Here's a quick Japanese lesson. As a naive American stupid whatever, did you know that Gachiakuta translates to serious trash or real trash? Glad to see my Anki lessons are doing some work. They didn't. The show seems like a good wind down. Nothing wrong here. Alien that wants to spread happiness throughout the planet. Sounds pretty chill. Ooh, what are these toys that it uses? Oh, I guess this show is going to help get 2 students be closer. Wait, there's only 6 episodes? Okay. That seems not too bad. It's a short story, I guess. I'll give it 1 and see if I want to watch the rest then. Oh, it was all bait. As I get older, I find myself wanting more from the media I consume. So when I was presented with this warning that reminded me of Doki Doki Literature Club, I was interested right away. Not necessarily in the content itself, because that would make me a sociopath, but more so how heavy themes are handled in terms of direction and writing. Takopii's original sin baits viewers in on purpose, but as you watch the first couple of episodes, you can pinpoint why that is the case. Of course, an alien who comes from a planet that seems to be like a utopia would naively believe that happiness is a constant no matter what, only to then learn the harsh reality of the world we all live in. What do you mean you can force a friendship between the school bully and their target through a magical rope? That just sounds like brainwashing. Yeah, you can't just spawn devices that rewind time or connect 2 people together and just expect no consequences from that. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. I will say, however, The adults just straight up suck in this show. Literally no one is aware of how their actions or words impact their children. Or if they do, it seems like they just don't care. At least that seems to be the case with Shizuka's mom, at least. It seems like she just doesn't care. With Marina's parents, that's just a whole bag of worms in of itself, I'm gonna be honest. And for Azuma's parents, that's your typical helicopter mom. The situations are pretty realistic, and the direction is on point. The writing is also very good. If you want a very serious show that has some sci-fi elements but remains very human, then I genuinely can't recommend this show enough. I watched episode 5, I think that came out, and now I'm just kind of mind blown about everything. If you know, you know. The whole time rewinding thing I mentioned before, things are getting pretty nuts. I really can't recommend this show enough. There's only 6 episodes, there's 1 episode left that I have to watch. I don't know if it's out, but it's really good. Easily one of the top shows of the season. Yeah, let's just get back away from Depression Simulator, I guess. My favorite diving anime. What can I say? One of my favorite anime is back with more chromo hijinks, giving me plenty of opportunities to laugh while keeping the jokes fresh and not forced. I haven't read the manga since season 1 aired long ago, so I have plenty to look forward to. I don't really have much to say because it's a comedy anime. There's nothing really deep about it. Maybe it's because I'm getting older, but there are times where the animation does seem to be lower quality in terms of cuts and the way things are sliding around on screen, but that could just be me. After all, it's a comedy anime, and sometimes it makes it more funny. It could be a stylistic decision. I don't know. I'm not an animator. I like art though. Okay, whatever. She's a best girl, that's all. So as of recording this, I only watched the first 2 episodes of My Dress Up Darling, and I like it. The animation's good. The duo's pretty good. I like Noah a lot more right now, but that's just my personal opinion. Yeah, there's nothing really much about it. Just seems like a great continuation of the first season. I look forward to learning more about cosplay, the ecchi, of course, as a Degen, and yeah, there's nothing really out of the ordinary here. Can't wait for the romance to get drawn out again. Classic. I love it. Kind of salty. Speaking of another romance, kinda, not really. Man, imagine dying because you saw an erotic tree formation. Couldn't be me. Maybe, I don't know. I play NIKKE. Nah, I'll admit, if I were a teenager again, I probably would have fell for that. But also, why would you go into the mountains in the rain with no cleats? I'm sure that will get answered, but regardless, that is the start of The Summer Hikaru Died. This beautiful and artistic adaptation by Cygames Pictures revolves around a seemingly toxic relationship between our 2 protagonists, Tsuchinaka Yoshiki and Indo Hikaru, and the traditions that surround them on the island that they live on. There's plenty of mystery elements involved, with a ton of focus on the psychological effects of grief and knowing that a monster is possessing the body of your best friend. It's grim, tense, and dense in mystery, creating a good blend for a potential thriller. I will say though, if you are an alien and you're trying to live as a human, I don't think going around and killing people who just seems to sense you is the best way to go about it. Wouldn't that kind of just tick off a lot of people's radars? I feel like that's just a bad way to go about it. Maybe there's potential reason for that, but it definitely leaves room for more death and tragedy. So we'll see. Here are my early predictions as someone who hasn't read the manga. Here's what I think's going to happen. I think that they are going to mix. But what will happen is Yoshiki will be able to control part of it, and he's going to have to kill the part of Uniki that's in Hikaru's body. That's just my late night thoughts. Probably not true, but if it is, I get the credit. Oh, also the music is a banger. Oh, also, if you notice, aside from the beautiful visuals, which, by the way, Netflix, whatever you're paying Cygames Pictures, keep doing that. If you want to keep paying as much money as possible to produce these beautiful pieces of work, do it. Just don't monopolize it, you know what I mean? The choice of music is very intentional. If you notice throughout the show, at least I mean, I didn't notice, but it seems like there's a lack of a soundtrack unless it's like very necessary. You only hear ambiance in terms of creating like a very suspenseful feeling, or during that montage in the beginning of episode 1. It seems like those were the only 2 times where music was really used. Oh, also during the festival, but that's more of like a background thing. They're leaning heavily on the story and the tense, suspenseful feeling in the air, and I like that. It's good. As for the romance between the 2 protagonists, it's pretty clear to me, at least, that the 2 had feelings for each other, but maybe the alien slash Inuki is also trying to act on that, but not out of love, but out of a need to mix. And maybe because of the memories of Hikaru, it's being confused in that way, because there were like 2 or 3 instances where it loses control and acts out and consumes stuff. So it's like it needs to consume when it gets excited, but I'm sure that will get addressed, obviously. Anyways, I'm looking forward to the rest of the season. I think it's going to be a pretty suspenseful season. Anyways, I have pretty high trust with Saegem's pictures, at least so far, because it just seems like everything is beautiful and intentional. So it seems like they know what they're doing, so I trust them. I just hope that it doesn't fall off. On to the last show I'm going to talk about, and that is, of course, One Piece. That's right. I'm back again. One Piece. Oh my god, he said One Piece. Did you get that? No way. 1,000+ episodes. There's gonna be a reboot like a Kai series. They did that because they have to cut the pacing issues. Oh my god, no way. Blah, 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 blah. Yep, that's right. I'm dedicating the last section of this video to One Piece because the last string of episodes were cinematic masterpieces. I'm talking like straight up years and years of material and build-up that made the recent arc pay off in a way that is so grand that I think everyone that can catch up should catch up. Yeah, obviously there's going to be some pacing issues, but Toei has been learning notes for the past couple of arcs. It's thankfully not as bad as Dressrosa. Ending themes are back, which are bangers by the way, and sometimes breaks are taken to make sure the animation quality is maintained. The manga itself has been releasing 10 out of 10 chapters more consistently, as Oda is seeking to wrap up the story in like 10 more years, so all of the important lore and character bombshells are being fleshed out. I won't really say what is being covered, because it won't really make sense to people who don't know, but if you do know, then you know how good it is. Witnessing the story as it comes out weekly has almost always been a treat since I first started around 13 or so years ago, and I will hopefully relax and be happy as I read the final chapter on a random sunset. Hopefully, you know, mangaka health. Crossing fingers, knock on wood. There's a couple of shows that are still airing that I haven't gotten around to that I hopefully plan on watching, so you can let me know thoughts down below. In particular, I'm thinking of The Flower Blooms with Dignity, or I think that's the name. Probably wrong on that. You know which one that is. Dr. Stone, season 4 I have to catch up on. There's a couple of series from last season that I would also like to catch up on. Windbreaker season 2, Kowloon Generic Romance, and other shows that I have yet to watch. I don't know if I'll actually get to watch them because, as usual, life gets in the way, and thus the backlog will keep on filling. If you made it to the end, thanks a ton, really. I honestly made this video so I can stop adding to the backlog that never goes down and actually try to watch anime for once. For some reason, I find it harder and harder to engage with my hobbies, even when I'm unemployed. But if you want to see more, please like and subscribe for more, and leave a comment on your thoughts on the season. No spoilers though, please. If you're also trying to learn Japanese as I am, consider leaving a comment below on your progress. Right now I'm working through the Kaishi 1.5k Anki deck while immersing myself through podcasts and the like. I'm not expecting to get fluent quickly, but I'm having fun so far, and that's honestly the most important part. As long as you're having fun, it doesn't really matter what you're trying to do. Just be chill about it. On that note, see ya.